Tell me how fabulous life gets when you're a big-time Hollywood actress. Best friends with George Clooney himself.
I'm not best friends with George.
You got married at his villa.
George is a very good friend of ours, but he and John are very tight.
John and George are good.
Yes.
Wow, how wonderful.
John and George.
How amazing this must be.
It was wonderful, yeah.
And you decide to get married at his villa in Italy.
Yeah.
Now, what goes on with that? Who approaches? Does George
Did you
say,
actually invite your family to George's house?
We did. We didn't have aunts and uncles, but we had we had the immediate family. Yeah.
So George says, why don't you have your wedding at my castle?
He said we were having sushi, and he said, congratulations, blah, blah, blah. And he went, you going to get married at my house? And we went, no. We thought he was just saying that, when people just say that.
Right.
And they don't mean it. And then he asked again, and we went, no, we're not going to do that. And then he asked again, and then we said,
Take
sure.
me through this. So now you decide to get married at George Clooney's house, and you're kind of insecure, saying to yourself, gee, does he really mean this?
Oh, yes,
How far should we go with this?
Yeah.
So now you have to check in with Clooney. So how many people do you invite to your wedding?
We had 65. It was very small.
65 people, which is, you're having 65 people to George Clooney's house.
Yeah.
In a way, wouldn't it be simpler just to have it somewhere where you don't have to answer to George Clooney?
Italy was a very special place for us. It was where we took our first holiday and everything. And so
is that where you first made love to your husband when you were dating?
No, we'd been dating a while before we went to Italy.
So you say to your family, guess where we're getting married? Or do you play it cool again? Like, it's no big deal, we're getting married at Clooney's.
I think they knew that we were friends because we'd been on holiday at his house.
So who
before.
caters the event, if I may be so...
Gio works with George, who kind of runs George's whole deal.
Estate. Gio
is an incredible... guy who used to be head of security at the Venice Film Festival. The guy looks like he's killed people, and he's incredible. And he planned our entire wedding.
Gio did?
He was amazing.
A security guy?
He was like, if it were me, I would get these flowers. If it were me, I would have this guy.
And you listened to him because
100%.
Now, do the people stay at George's house, or do they stay at hotels surrounding George's house?
We had some people who knew George, who were kind of, people who we'd worked with, stayed at his house.
Right.
And then everyone else stayed at 2 different hotels.
So the upper tier get to stay. Like, in other words, if I was a guest coming to the wedding...
You might be allowed in his house. Do you know him?
I do know George.
Then you'd be allowed to stay at his house, I'm sure.
I do. You think?
I think he's, he wants people who he knows.
People who know me tend to keep me out of their house.
That's a
George
shame.
has invited you
Is it
to
because
the
you have bad
house.
duty habits?
I have a bad duty. Oh,
Yeah.
I duty regularly.